A bigger price on carbon? I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. We all remember the promise from Liberal Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He stood in the House of Commons and said what his government was going to do as far as carbon pricing was concerned last fall.
The government proposes that the price on carbon pollution should start at a minimum of $10 per tonne in 2018, rising by $10 each year to $50 per tonne in 2022.
That's right. The provinces would decide whether it would be cap and trade or a direct carbon tax, but either way, it would be the equivalent of $10 a ton going up to $50 a ton. Well, new documents released through Access to Information not only say it has to be a lot higher, 6 times higher than that high figure Trudeau cited, but also that we could be looking at carbon tariffs. Don't say you weren't warned. This is a government that is built upon the green religion, that has Jerry Butts as principal's chief advisor, a man who has said time and again that we don't need a new right route for pipelines. We need to decarbonize and have a zero carbon economy. This is an environment ministry that is chaired by people that used to run extremist NGOs on the environmental side, people that want zero carbon economy, leave the oil in the ground. So should we be surprised? Probably not. In fact, much of the information that was provided to the current Liberal government was also provided to the previous Conservative government, but they rejected it. So what are we talking about? Well, instead of Trudeau's $50 a ton for a price on carbon, these documents show the Liberal government being advised to bring in a $300 a ton carbon price. That's right. What would that mean in real terms? I mean, who measures what they buy on a daily basis in terms of carbon tonnage? I know I don't, and I doubt you do either. Well, let's put it in real terms. 70 cents a litre on fuel. Right now, gasoline in Ottawa is hovering between 90 cents and about $1 a litre. So put that into real terms. Let's say it's $1 a litre. It'd go to $1.70 a litre. That's a huge spike. That's a huge increase and a huge hit on your pocketbook, on your family budget. Now think about everything else that moves by car, by truck, by ships that run on diesel. All of that's going to go up, especially when you consider that they are also being advised to consider a carbon tariff. That's right, because Canadian manufactured goods, Canadian produce, anything made in Canada would become uncompetitive with this regime. The bureaucrats are recommending a carbon tariff. Now, they note that no jurisdiction so far has brought them in, but they say this would be a good way to go. All right, great. Canada once again signals that it's going to be the Boy Scout of the world, that it will kill its economy off while the Americans and the Chinese and the Russians and the Indians, our competitors, go in the other direction. So to compensate, to help our guys out, we'll put on a carbon tariff. Anything we import, if it would have a carbon tax or a price on carbon here, there would be a tariff at the border. We've been spending decades doing away with tariffs, bringing about free trade around the world, and this would bring us back to the old-fashioned tariff model, but for the green economy. It's truly bizarre. What would that mean? Well, an imported car made in the United States, would have a tariff slapped on it at the border. Manufacturing equipment, the machinery that manufacturing enterprises use here, the farm equipment that our farmers use in Canada, would suddenly go up in price. Anything coming from outside of Canadian borders would be dramatically more expensive. I've been saying for a long time, I warned people before the election, and I've been saying since, elections have consequences. The Trudeau Liberals are telling us it's going to be $10, moving up to $50 a ton. Don't believe them. Don't believe them for a second. They are going to find ways to drive up cost. Why? Because they are wedded to the green religion. They are wedded to the idea of a zero carbon economy. Justin Trudeau has approved a couple of pipelines for now. That doesn't mean that he and his top advisors and the people over at Environment Canada don't want us to actually move in the opposite direction. These memos show what's being discussed at the highest levels of the government. And while they might not be acting on it now, they will, especially with everyone that's in their camp, the people that are writing their platforms, the people that are backing them on the green progressive side, keep telling them that if we want to hit our targets, we need to charge Canadians more. It's going to cost you an awful lot more than you ever thought for electing a Liberal government. If you like the Rebel video you just watched, make sure you never miss another one. Again, click here to subscribe.